Former DPI employee and 2 others charged with drug trafficking. 2 found dead in Marriott parking lot. The shocking reason why Tuckville Secondary School cancelled class today. And why you need to question every government appointee. This morning, 25-year-old former DPI communications officer Zanil Williams pleaded guilty to trafficking more than 21 pounds of cocaine at the Chedichagan International Airport. Williams was busted on Friday with more than 17 pounds of cocaine in the false sides of her laptop bag and another 3.6 pounds strapped to her body. The magistrate requested a psychiatric evaluation of the woman before sentencing is handed down on the 30th of May 2022. Her probation report has also been requested. She will remain in custody until sentencing. Meanwhile, GRA Customs Officer Shamika Caesar and ex-Kanu officer Anil Suku were charged in connection with the same drug trafficking case, but they both entered not guilty pleas and were each granted bail in the sum of $750,000. The 2 accused are also expected back in court in the new month for the continuation of the case. Kanu has been watching Williams for several months as her frequent travel pattern was being closely monitored. She was recently granted a government scholarship and was set to begin a new job at a state-owned media house next month. Passengers traveling from Suriname to Perico will have stranded for hours on Sunday at the Suriname Stelling after the captain of the Guyana Ferry and its crew claimed they were exhausted. The ferry schedules were disrupted due to a cruise from Perico to Suriname. The cruise resulted in the Guyana Ferry operating alone, and the captain claimed that after conducting 6 trips, he and his crew were tired. They were told the 3 p.m. ferry would instead be leaving at 6 p.m. However, the ferry never left until 5:45 a.m. on Monday. When the newsroom contacted the captain, he said that he told the supervisor he was exhausted and is unaware of why the supervisor continued to sell tickets knowing that he already reported that they would stand down for the trip. The Public Accounts Committee has recommended that former government employee Danny Ramdallah be criminally investigated after he allegedly lied to the committee at its statutory meeting today. Ramdallah left the Ministry of Home Affairs in June of 2021, and he was questioned by the Auditor General's findings in his 2017 and 2018 reports. However, Ramdallah's answers failed to satisfy the PAC. In fact, they were contrary to the reports, despite being warned by PAC chairman Jermaine Figuera that misleading the PAC is an offense. The former engineer maintained that he stands by what he said. And in an unprecedented move, both PAC members Ward Edgell and Ganesh Mahipal united for the first time ever to recommend that the case be forwarded to the police. On Saturday morning, the police were called to the parking lot of the Marriott Hotel after the bodies of 34-year-old Justin Teixeira and 25-year-old Rishi Hansraj were found in the front seat of Teixeira's SUV. Investigators found a bottle in the back of the car with a substance which investigators believe is the poison sodium cyanide. They believe that the 2 men took their own lives by ingesting it. There were no visible marks of violence on their bodies, and investigators do not suspect foul play. Teixeira was a flight attendant who lived in the U.S. and would stay at the Marriott Hotel whenever he visited Guyana. Rishi Hansraj was a music producer and cultural singer who worked with local chutney stars. The 2 men were close friends for years and often traveled together. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2014 RDQ3. It comes with Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $5.6 million, or pay down as low as $1,120,000 down, with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them that we could send you for this sweet, sweet deal. The Tuckville Secondary School in Georgetown has been closed as the Ministry of Education investigates complaints of hazardous electrical issues at the school. This morning, students and teachers claim to have been shocked whenever they touched surfaces within the school building. Because of the issues, however, teachers and students remained outside of classes. The school is now closed until the building is thoroughly assessed and the matter is rectified. However, the teachers have agreed to work online until next Tuesday. Dr. Richard Van West Charles has resigned as advisor to PNCR leader Aubrey Norton, citing his dissatisfaction with the party's leadership. Despite having at least 2 meetings with Norton, Van West Charles stated his function as an advisor was never clearly defined, nor were any of his suggestions heeded. Norton is yet to comment on the matter. An 18-year-old inmate at the Lusignan prison was caught with 92 grams of marijuana in two parcels stashed in his underwear. The teenager was observed acting suspiciously around 10 a.m. while working on the prison farm. A search was conducted by a prison training officer when the weed was discovered. He is currently serving a sentence for armed robbery, and the teen will soon be charged for possession of marijuana. You can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way to make money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with sellerplus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. The Hydromet Agency is looking into the possibility of developing an app to ensure the public gets timely updates on weather forecasts. Chief Hydromet Officer Dr. Garvin Cummings said they also have to strengthen their PR unit to ensure that they can be in constant communication with the Guyanese people because weather does not sleep. The goal is to get the app developed and up and running within the next 2 years. Meanwhile, several hours of continuous rainfall over the weekend flooded multiple villages in the quarantine. Among the hardest hit were numbers 36 and 52 villages. At number 36 village, some residents say that their entire backyards have been inundated, with some reporting as much as 7 inches of floodwater in their homes as of Saturday. At number 52 village, a sluice was not opened, which flooded acres of farmland. The 52-74 NDC had allegedly refused to pay the sluice operator an additional $20,000 to operate a second smaller sluice that takes water to the main drainage canal. Even though the main sluice is opened, water from some sections of the village could not get to the canal because another sluice was closed. This sluice was eventually opened on Saturday morning after residents started complaining of rising floodwaters. The NDC has promised to revisit the issue of paying an operator for the smaller sluice. Now for today's oil update. ExxonMobil Sales and Supplies is going to be buying Guyana's first entitlement of 1 million barrels of oil from the new FPSO Liza Unity. But they would not be charging a marketing fee, the Ministry of Natural Resources said on Saturday. The ExxonMobil affiliate bid was the best on pricing differential for the crude, and this lift will incur no marketing fee by the lifter. And they also said that this is a one-off arrangement for ExxonMobil Sales and Supplies. Nevertheless, Guyana would be selling the oil at a forecast price of US $106 per barrel. Described as unit called crude, the consignment would be loaded from the FPSO Liza Unity during April 23rd to 24th to the vessel MV Demetrios by the terminal operator. So apparently this happened over the weekend. Do you own a truck? No, not the disease, I mean a real truck, like DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell. Then come, get high-quality truck parts at the lowest prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for today's stupid news. You know what I think is scary? The continuous consolidation of power and wealth around people who have a direct link to our nation's vice president. Now don't get me wrong, this is not a conspiracy theory nor an anti-PPP rant. This is a genuine concern that many of the highest positions of state power and our nation's resources are slowly being taken over by a small group of people who really don't care about the average Guyanese. They don't even care about their party base. Rather, they're only concerned with securing themselves and the people most loyal to them. You know why I say this? Because the government is full of recycled faces and their families. Look at the president's cabinet, the parliament, agency heads, advisors, and commissioners. While some there have actually earned their position, many strategic positions have not been given out on merit, but rather to people who have in the past publicly shown their loyalty, not even to the party, not even to the nation, but to one man at the top. Honestly, at this point, it's so obvious, it's painful. Now, I believe there are many government employees who want to see Guyana succeed. There are many PPP members who want to see Guyana succeed. But it seems to me that many of them are under the misguided belief that Jagdio's vision for Guyana is the only vision for our future that is worth pursuing, and even suggesting a flaw in his plan is considered blasphemy. Now, that is scary. That's a scary level of devotion some people have. But what's even more scary is that we all know what I'm saying is true. What's even more scary than that is that some of you are even scared for me for even pointing out this obvious fact. But if we don't say anything now, this power consolidation will only get worse. All of that is to say, question every new appointment that the government makes and demand more accountability from each and every one of them. Because just to sit back and accept it is pretty stupid. Now for our uncut news views poll question of the day. On Friday, I asked about your opinion on the media in Guyana. Will Otero said, well said about the media. Of course, referring to my rant I had on Friday. RC View Farm says the media companies will rely on advertisements. This is how they make money. The companies with political agendas will manipulate the media houses to embrace their political agendas or risk losing business. Yes, you are correct, but you'd be amazed at the level of self-censorship some of these so-called reporters do to themselves. And finally, Lynn Bishop says, I prefer to listen to you as you are direct, quick and to the point without a real bias. Thank you. Gordon Mosley is okay, but he just airs the opposition agenda, hence he's not getting the whole picture. Keep up the good work, but let's see you sometime. Thank you very much. I will try to keep it up. But of course, as I said, I wish I could say I was completely without bias, but I already told you I am biased. I'm biased for the people of Guyana. Now, I just wish that other journalists would actually have enough integrity to actually admit their biases. Before we get to tonight's question, take a look at this beauty being constructed in a gated community called Richmondville in Guyana. It features 4 bedrooms, 1 pool with 7,000 square feet of living space, along with modern amenities. Contact Sheriff Construction on 592-618-5702. Now for tonight's question, I want to know, have you also seen this pattern of power consolidation, or am I just being paranoid? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.